so the first specialty collet that I want to make is I am going to take this end mill holder and I'm going to cut it off, say about an inch, somewhere around there, and I'm going to drill a hole and tap it 1 inch 20. And the reason for that is that I have a wheel hopper head here that used to be attached to, I believe it was a Brown & Shop 50 taper. It was used in a Brown & Shop Omniversal that I used to have. So I got a couple of jobs I want to use this for, and if anybody knows anything about wheel hopper heads, they're a great boring tool, but they also can face. Okay, so they're great for boring a hole, facing off the top, or getting in there and making a snap ring groove or something like that. Very, very useful tool. Very, very expensive. Okay, so I made this a long time ago to get me out of a jam. I needed this to do a particular project, and I just machined up a piece of stock. This is 3/4. Threw it up into a collet. It's kind of long, reduces the amount of space I have between the table and the spindle, and I would rather hold it a little bit more securely with a R8 collet. So that's number one. I want to do that. Plus I have a job coming up. I have a Clausing variable speed drill press, which has a problem with the table where it fits the column. It needs to be bored out, and it needs to have a sleeve put in there. It's from having heavy fixturing on it all the time, going up and down on the column. It wore it at a taper, so I want to fix that. I got that drill press very cheap, but it had a problem, and that's the problem. Number two, I have a number 1 Bridgeport boring head. This used to have a little, like, 3/8 drive screwed into it. I believe this is 5/8 20. I'm not sure on that. But what had happened is it had gotten bent years and years ago, and I made up this arbor because I needed to get down deep in a hole to do something, and it did work for what it was supposed to be for, and I'll keep this arbor. I just had it off and I can't even get it off. But I'd like to make a R8 arbor for it. And they do not make an R8 arbor for this. Maybe they did once upon a time, but I've tried to buy one and I cannot buy one. So I want to make an arbor for this. I've got a couple of other things that I want to make an arbor for. I am going to be making a rotary broaching tool. And on the back of the rotary broaching tool, I want to be able to screw an R8 collet or a number 3 Morse taper. Be able to have it interchangeable, so I can use it on the lathe or I can use it on the milling machine. So, and this will come in handy from time to time whenever you're trying to make something. Okay. All right. Let's look at the print. This is a pretty simple design here. Nothing special. So this reads right here 16.85 degrees. Now that is in, how do you want to say, in hundredths of a degree. It's not in minutes and seconds. For some reason, this program that I'm using, I cannot make it in that configuration, so I have to convert it. So I forget what this, I think it's 16 degrees 51 minutes is what the included angle is on a R8 collet. I'm going to make sure the outside diameter is going to be roughly 1 inch 450, and that could matter less. I have a piece of 1.5 inch stock. The only reason I made it 1 inch 450 is just so I can turn about 25 thousandths off the side, make it nice and true, and put a nice finish on it. Whatever it comes out, I'm fine with. It doesn't make a difference. So this is critical. This is critical. and their concentricity between the two of them and the outside diameter is critical. Okay, that's about any other measurement, doesn't really matter. This 1 inch in between, that's just going to be a little bit of relief. I don't want a problem binding when this slides in here. So I want it, you know, the best way to align something is between 2 points. So I want a little surface in here like it would be in the head, and I want my proper angle here. Relieved in the center. If I go in a little bit further here and I make this a little bigger, I'm shooting for 1 inch, 250. If it's a little bigger, it'll sit a little further in, but I got plenty of length here. I could always face the face of this off if it goes in too deep. Okay, I want it to stick out a little further, like some of the older Bridgeport collets. So how I'm planning on doing this is I got a piece of 1.5 inch rod. I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. I'm going to stick it out of the chuck about 3.5 inches. Actually, no, about 4.5 inches. I'm going to face it and put a center in it. And then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to take about 20 thousandths, 25 thousandths off it to put a nice finish on it. I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to stick it in the chuck, and I'm going to drill this side and bore it to 950 thousandths. And I'm going to sneak up on that really slow because I want that to be a pretty close tolerance. I'm actually going to take this and slide it in there and make sure it fits nice. Okay. I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to bore down the length of this, and I may open this right up with a 1 inch drill. Depends. This one I'll probably open up with a drill. I'll probably drill it out to about 7/8, somewhere around there. But I'm going to bore down through here, and I'm going to open it up to 1 inch. That'll give me a little bit of clearance over this size. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut my 1651 angle. I'm going to use this to set up on. So I'm going to put this either between centers, in a chuck, whatever. Probably put it in this way in the lathe. And I'm going to set my compound to this angle. Okay? That way I know I got a perfect angle. And then I'll just machine that out until I feel that fits nicely and leaves me about a little less than maybe 3/16. Maybe a little more than an 8, 3/16. We'll see. We'll see how it fits. Okay, got a rough number here of 1 inch, 250. So that's what we're going to do. It should be all lathe work. It sounds pretty simple. The only problem will be getting the concentricity between these two and the outside, which I'm not anticipating a problem. I have a really good 4-jaw chuck. So, all right. So I'll see you over in the lathe. Oh, not big enough. I want to face this, and I want to drill that hole. Good enough. Now this doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to turn the outside of this, but we want to get it close. Damn, I think much all. Sometimes you get lucky. Just saying, I'd rather be lucky than good. Alright, so what do we... That's just what this is. 0. Yeah, I can make about a chucky too. Not bad. So about 1 before. About 1 before. Yeah, let's tighten this one up a little bit. Tighten them all up. These can't get, I got a grip on this thing, so yeah, I'll have a big one. Let this in my cushion. Or actually, I think I found it this years ago. I get my hand on it. Reverse the direction. Actually machining quite nicely. Jeez, almost feels like it's a bar of 12L14, but I doubt it. Wow, that is machining nice. Alright, go a little over 4 1/4. Wow, that is smooth. Okay. Now we're going to part it off, and then we're going to work on the backside. I'll saw the rest of that off. All right, I'm going to dial this in and I'll be right back. All right, so we're not even half a thousandth out. So we're good. I think this is 27/64. It's almost 7/8, close. I'm going to run this all the way through, then I'll come in and I'll bore it that inch, 250 thousandths. That's a beautiful finish. All right, so I'm not afraid to take a very light cut, because sometimes when you take a very light cut, it kind of screws up your surface finish. This is really nice. All right, so what do we want? 950. So I'm going to put it on 930. So I got 88 thousandths to take out of there. And we'll do 10,000 passes. I tell you, like 891 and a half. All right, got about 18 thousandths left. And one of the things I caught, maybe you guys saw it, I didn't have the tool post handle locked down tight. Said it was repeating, and it was, you know, just hit up against it, so it locked it in place, but it wasn't locked tight. I'll do 2 more 5s and take a reading. I'm going to go 5 more. I'm going to take a spring pass, measure it, and see what we got to do. I'm going to take the burr off the edge of this. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, 48, 48, 48.5. I don't know. Yeah. We're really close. I'm going to check this for fit just in case. Yeah. Wish I had a son in rod home. All right, I'm going to take about 1,000. It's all or nothing, right? This takes a great light pass. Oh, it's just going in there. It's just going in there. Make sure I don't bump the handle. It's reading 49 right now. I'm going to take a spring pass, see what it does. It's reading about 49.9. It's almost 50. It's not going to get any better than that. I'm going to take a piece of Scotch-Brite and just kind of clean up the hole a little bit. I hate sticking my finger in there like that. Ooh, I made it softer. That looks beautiful. Alright, so I'm going to put a chamfer on here, chamfer on there, just to clean it up a little bit, and we'll probably, I don't know, we'll see what time it is, and we'll get ready to cut the other side, but it might be on the next video.